Alright, standing single leg hip flexor extensions. This is a really simple but really valuable tool to help improve range of motion of the hip flexor. So even though we're working hip flexor extensions specifically in this, it will absolutely help support movements that require deep hip flexion, like the squat, for example. Last thing I want to clarify is that I'm using this wizard staff and or walking stick as a support system, as a way to create counterbalance, because we are going to be on one leg inside of this movement. But for most of you, and in most situations, we're just going to be using the wall to put our hand up and create some support and create a counterbalance. However, based on the filming area, this is the best support system for this context. So anyways, with that, we are going to bring our foot, might be the ankle for some of you, for a lot of us it'll probably be the top of the foot, and we're going to put that in the same side hand. All right, now this will look familiar to a lot of you, if not all of you, because we'll see this stretch oftentimes, in the park before a run or something, and you'll see people kind of bowing, yanking on their legs, and kind of aimlessly going through this. But there's a specific intention that you want when you're utilizing this movement. And when you bow forward, notice that nothing's actually changing with regards to where my knee is in space, right? I'm just changing the angle of my torso. And you will feel some stretch sensations, but it's not the sensation we're going for. We're going for something deeper and more valuable. So anyways, we're in this position. Rather than just yanking on your leg, we want to create tension. And the way we do that is by creating tension through our abs. Obviously everything is connected, but I like to start with the abs, crunching down, pulling my rib cage down, and pointing the heck out of my knee towards the floor, and that's where I can start pulling on the foot. This should give you more tension through your hip flexor, and you will probably feel some stretch sensations through your quads as well. All right, now from here, even though I'm in a good stretched position, I want to simply bring my knee back, and you'll have to use part your leg and hip to actually push your knee back, and part your hand to help support bringing it back further, right? And then you come back to the starting position. So again, I like to do this for reps, pulling back and then coming back to this starting position. Pulling back, and every rep just trying to get a little deeper in your range of motion and coming back. Now, if you're doing this for a set of 10, I usually like having people hold on that final rep and, utilizing a hold for 15 to 30 seconds, for example. It depends on the person, and that's where you can do your static hold. If you do want a static hold and that works best for you, you still want to be in that position of creating tension and then pulling back, right? No matter what, bowing forward is simply changing the angle of your torso and isn't actually increasing your capacity to create hip extension. So just keep that in mind. That's the really big point of performance that people screw up in this stretch. It's not mindless pulsing, it's not mindless bowing or yanking. You want to create tension, and then you want to try to increase that range of motion. That's how this is going to be the most optimal movement for you and the most optimal way to increase range of motion of the hip flexor. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. I really hope you enjoy this movement, and I hope you enjoy implementing it in your fitness practice.